talk and then later.
I'm going to go to something different after this story.
Maybe
it's
girlfriend having trouble with housing.
Transition to a different story. Christian revival, belief in God triples amongst 18 to 24-year-old. And this is in Britain, by the way. So let's go to page 14 and see what these guys are doing in the UK, because we had some issues with the UK this past week. Apparently, they're not fans of Menech in the UK, and the Times wrote a story about this. But let me go to the story here for you guys. Here we go. YouGov's tracker and religious belief showed the number of 18 to 24-year-olds in Britain professing belief in God rose from 16% in August of 2021 to 45% in holy 181% increase, with Lancastrian priest Father Damien Feeney stating the growing number of young people interested in faith comes from a need for structure, shape, and routine in their life and a desire for stability at a time when otherwise life can seem destabilized. A 56% increase in monthly churches attendance from 3.7 million to 5.8 million between 2018 and 2024 was driven by younger men from 1 in 25 to 1 in 5, when women from 3% to 12%. The 18 to 24 age group is now the second most likely to attend church monthly. Feeney noted the desire for structure and order previously mentioned has led to a renewal of interest in traditional worship among young adults. The use of beauty and language, color, music, drama in fairly classic ways has grown in appeal. Belief amongst 25 to 49ers increased 21% in 2021 to 33%. So let's see who wanted to talk about this story. Adam, I'm coming to you. What do you have thoughts on this story?
Well, as the only true Christian on the panel here, the original OG Jew in the house, I think it's great to see Christianity making a comeback, especially in the UK. I think if we learned anything, like in America right now, you see that it's cool now to be conservative. It's cool. It's counterculture to be like, I know the difference between a man and a woman. So I think it's what's happening in the UK is they've gone so woke. They've gone so leftist. They've gone so secular that young people, Gen Z are the ones that are leading this charge, are basically saying, no. All this woke, government-infused nonsense, I'm done with this. And they're returning back to churches. And I think that's a great thing. I think there's another element to this because there's religion and there's culture. I think religion is one component. I think what's happening in the UK is they're seeing their culture change. What's the number one baby name in the UK?
Muhammad.
It's not James. It's not Henry. It's Muhammad. And I think there's a lot of Brits who are like, all right, we're tolerant. We're nice. We'll do it. We'll be appeasing to you. And there's a lot of people who are starting to say, no, not on my watch. And I see simmerings. I see on the internet, not that the internet is the tell-all, be-all, especially Twitter, but I see this urge for a holy war. And that's where it's going to happen first, right in the UK. God bless.
And I'm Pat, and I know Tom's gonna go right after me, but I mean, what great news. I know we always talk about this and politics and Newsom and the end of the world. Thank God that people are going to God and Christianity. That makes me so happy because listen, it's undeniable. Okay, go do the research. The book that you told me to read, A Case for Christ by Lee Strobel. Guys, the guy was an atheist and was like, I'm going to prove that Jesus wasn't here and he wasn't who he says he was. Guess what? He made a case for Jesus Christ. He was here. Whether you believe what he was, if he was a magician or whatever you want to believe, he was here. He's a savior. I think it's awesome that it's happening, and it's not just happening then. It's happening here in the United States. Okay, and Louis C.K. had a really funny joke once. He said, well, all the time. I think he's one of the best ever. He said, you know what religion won? Christianity. He goes, what year is it? 2020, it was 2022. He was like, right now, it's 2025, right? Since when? We all keep the date, everybody, Muslim, Buddhist, of when Jesus Christ died, okay? And I think it just proves how real, there's a battle right now, bro, with evil. Tom, was it Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12? For we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities against powers and rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Guys, the table is set, okay? And which side where are you going? And I think that the darker it gets, the brighter truth stands out. And I'm telling you guys, from personal experience, Assyrians and Armenians like have a battle of who were the first Christians. There's something going on in the world, and I'm telling you, the better my life has gotten, the more truth. I'm telling you, Adam, it's going to God and going to Jesus Christ, because I'm telling you right now, especially with all this stuff that we talk about, Epstein and this and that, the only accountability factor is going to be God. Period. That makes me sleep well at night because I go, if it doesn't happen here, he's going to hold everybody accountable.
Are you saying that Assyrians and Armenians battle for who the first Christian was?
I think Armenians actually
is this your jihad, Pat? Your struggle, your internal struggle between Assyrian and Armenian? Who was the first Christian?
I think it might be
Here's what I know for a fact. One of my bloodlines was
so he's
for
good.
me, I'm good. Armenian and Assyrian. But let me go to this. Let me give some thoughts on this, and we can get to the next story. We'll sit here and we'll banter and we'll say all our stuff, and some of it is fun and some of it is appropriate and some of it is inappropriate. Sometimes we get emotional and I can't believe this and I can't believe that, and sometimes we drop the F-bomb too many times and someone's got to call you out and say, hey, get your act together and don't do this. I don't like it. Kids are listening. And by the way, sometimes we say things to people and we take personal shots, which I don't like, because I want to talk to a lot of these guys. Like, as much as I don't agree with Newsom on politics, I want to sit down and have a conversation with them. I have nothing personal against the guy. He does what he does. He's got a family. He's got kids. He wants to be a good father to his kids. There's nobody that's not trying to do their best in their lives for the most part. The benefit of God entering my life and me becoming a Christian, the biggest part of it was that you had to learn forgiveness. And you had to learn that as much as you try to judge everybody else, hey, brother, you have a lot of stuff and a lot of things you did wrong that you screwed up with. That we have to get on our knees. The other day I'm with the boys, Tico and Dylan, and I said, guys, whatever you do, pray a little bit longer tonight. And I get on my knees and they're sitting there with me. Something happened, Daddy? I'm just pray a little longer today. Just pray a little longer today. Talk to God. And I sat down and I'm having conversations. I wouldn't be who I am today without God in my life. I've said this so many times, and I'm so comfortable saying it, the fact that I'm a nobody without him, just a regular guy. I'm sitting there the other day at the cigar lounge with one of our founding members who's saying stuff to me about, well, let me tell you, what about God this, and what about God that, and what about God this? And I said, listen, bro, when I think about God, I don't think about the judge pastor that you're going to hell God. I look at it in a completely different way. I know I desperately need God. He changed my life. My life doesn't make sense. I can't believe I got lucky enough to get a green card to come to America legally. I can't believe I met a Jennifer Hudman that's now my wife that gave me 4 kids who are my 5 favorite human beings in the world when I'm around them. I cannot believe somehow I got lucky enough to get a job at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter after the Army, not having a 4-year or a 2-year degree, and a Dave Kirby, who I keep talking about. I haven't seen this guy since 2002. Dave Kirby gave this guy, a regular guy, a job at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, who didn't have a 4-year or a 2-year degree, when I was going up against another girl named Solmaz Rashidi, who was brilliant, got a 1560 on her SATs, ran a nightclub in Berkeley, did a 4-year program in 3.5 years, sharp as hell. It was so great sitting next to Solmaz because she was you knew she was going to do something big in her life. You just knew it. And we sat there at the same cubicle and going back and forth, and somehow I got a 78% of my Series 7 the first time I took it, and I stayed in the financial industry, then went into the insurance industry, and then this happened. Then a Life Now podcast, you guys listening to us? What? Vault conference, nearly 10,000 people to come with their husband, wife, and kids, and 21-year-old guy goes and watches Tony Robbins at, what do you call it, at San Diego Convention Center and Long Beach Convention Center, and now he's doing 2 hours. We're going to have some massive announcements we're making at the Vault. This guy, this regular guy, you're telling me I deserve this? I don't know about that. So somehow, some way, that favor changed this guy's life. He made me, as much as this doesn't make sense to you, to the people who know me, my dad would know this, he made me softer. My heart, deep down inside, there is rage in here. There is so much rage in this. And he just said, hey, man, these things are not on you. I got this. You go do all the other stuff. It's like, all right, I got it. So I'm so glad younger folks, 18 to 24, are getting exposed to this, and they're finding God, they're finding church. I'm so happy that this is taking place, and they're going through it. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a life. Who said this? Somebody said this. I think it was Johnny Cash. Being a Christian is one of the hardest things to do, or something like that. Rob, can you pull up what Johnny Cash said about being a Christian? Johnny Cash, Christian. He said something, quotes. If you can just type in, he said something about being a Christian. Being a Christian isn't for sissies. That's what he said. It takes a real man to live for God a lot more than to live for the devil. It is hard.
Of course.
It is hard, guys, to do this. So anyways, life-changing. Happy for those guys in UK, and I'm happy for all the other guys in America that are doing the same thing as well. Let's go to the next story here. Next story I want to get into is I'm debating between a couple